Hi everyone, I am Mrs. D. Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor, Department of Cybersecurity. Today we are going to discuss about structures. What is the use of structures? Why we need structures? In programming language, we all know that only one variable can hold one value. In case of to hold multiple values in one variable, there is a facility for storing that as an array. But in case of array, we can use only one type of elements can be stored. That is, homogeneous elements can be stored in a single variable. But in case of using structures, ordinary variables is differed from the structured variables. The structures deals with entire collection of dissimilar data types. A structure contains a number of data types grouped together to frame or form in one variables. The data type may be of built-in or user-defined, which can be the collection of integer, float, etc. etc. The simple program to define how the structure is. Here the name of the structure is book. It contains character, float, integer as the data types inside the book. The character holds the variable name, float holds the price of the book, and the integer holds the pages of the book. This structure has three variables, that is three data, which can able to retrieve each and every element with book name, price and pages. Here we are defining how this program works. Here is a sample coding how we can able to retrieve the data for the structure elements. Usually the value of the variables can be retrieved by specifying the variable name. Even in arrays, we use the index value as the variable differentiator in the arrays. But in case of structures, we use the operator, a different operator called point or a dot operator, which can capable of retrieve the individual elements, that is individual variables inside the structures. Here is the sample output how we have executed this program. This program consists of just a collection of or retrieving of the name, price and number of pages of three books, because we have generated three variables of the similar data type of a structure. So it can capable of holding each and every book, that is B1, B2, B3 of the three variables will hold the same type of a structure. It consists of name of the book, price of the book and pages of the book. Here is the structure how to declare a structure. The general form of the structure how we have to declare. The struct is a keyword which defines the compiler. It can capable of holding multiple data types. These data types may have built-in or user-defined data types. It always ends with the semicolon. Here is an example. This statement defines a new data type called struct book. The book consists of the name, price and pages, which have a different data types. Character is a built-in data type, where float is also, and integer is also a built-in data type, but these data types is not a similar data types. But this facility is not provided in array, even though it is two-dimensional or multi-dimensional arrays. Once a new structured data type has been defined, one or more variable can be declared to be of the same type. For example, B1, B2, B3 are the variable which is declared for the structures. This structure B1, B2, B3 are the variables consist of the similar data type whatever the structure holds. Like primary variables and arrays, structure variable can also be initialized where they have declared. Even in declaration also we can able to declare or define the initial values for the variables. See here, the structure book1 B1 is the first variable which is created for the structure book. We have initialized the B1 with the basic of the name of the book and 130 is the price of the book and 55 is the pages of the book. It is not mandatory that it has to be always received from the user. During in the declaration also we can define the initial values for the variables as a normal variable for structures also. The closing braces in the structure type declaration must be followed by the semicolon. It is too important, stating that the structure declaration was over. It tells to the compiler to reserve any space in a memory. All structure declaration defines the form of the same structure. Usually the structure type declaration appears at the top of the source code file before any variables or functions are defined with the help of the structures. It is mandatory and good programming sense of declaring the variables or structures or any type of array before it uses, that is at the top of the main program. Accessing the structure element. In array, we can access the individual elements of an array using subscript, that is using the index value. But in case of structures, we can use the different scheme, that is dot operator, to refer the individual values in the variable of the structure. Here is an example. b1.price, that is b1 is the first variable which is created for the structured book, and the price which belongs to the b1 will be retrieved when we declare b1.price. If we declare that b2.price, it refers to the second variable which consists of a different data value for the price. How the structure elements are stored in the memory. We can see here how the structure elements declare the space and how the different elements or different data types are stored in the memory. The b1 is the first variable. It consists of three different elements which is stored in the structure. b1.name, b1.price and b1.pages. Each and every variable hold different values with the different data types. Here is an example how we can able to use the declaration even in definition even in declaration. The array of structures. The structures can also be considered as an array. In an array of structure, all elements of the array are stored in an adjacent memory location because array holds the continuous memory location that reserves the continuous memory location to store the values in an array. Since the structure is also can be of an array type, so it holds the adjacent memory location. Since each element in this array is a structure, the structure can consist of multiple data types, but it stores in all the structures of the array has the same data types. Here is an example for structure of an array of structures. Book is a structure where the book of 100 was stored as an array. That is, we don't want to declare each and every variable for a structure book. We can able to use the array of structures for declaring variables. In spite of multiple variable declaration, the variable can be stored as an array. Here the 100b variable, that is book variable, was created. It can be identified by b of 0 till b of 99. The additional features of structures. The value of structure variable can be assigned to another structure variable of the same type using the assignment operator. This copy all the structure elements in one structure to the other structure. It is possible which can able to store in a continuous memory locations also. The next is the uses of structures. Structures can change the size of the cursor. It clears the content of the screen, places the cursor at the appropriate position on the screen. Drawing and graphics and shapes on the screen is easier. Receiving a key from the keyboard is easier when compared with the arrays. Checking the memory size of the computer. Finding out the list of equipments attached to the computer. Formatting a floppy, hiding a floppy from the directory, displaying the directory of the disk, sending the output to the printer, interacting with the mouse. These are sample usage of a structure apart from the arrays. Thank you.